everybody, we're here to take a look at how to create a lenticular image. So the process for that, there's some steps and directions that can be found at our blog, phhsgraphics.blogspot.com. So I'm just going to go there right now so you can see that these same steps are right here, where it says digital photo lenticular image. So we're going to look at those steps and like how they look like when you actually carry them out in this video. So first thing you got to do is you've got to set up your layout document. So what you want to do is open a new file in Photoshop. So we're going to go to File, we're going to go to New, and always make sure that your unit of measure is set to inches. And what we are going to do is we are going to make one that is a width of 14 inches and a height of 8.5 inches. And this time we want a resolution of 300 pixels per inch. So now we're going to say OK. So we've got to set up those guides again, like we did for our photo collage, that we're going to do something a little bit different with them this time. So you got to be able to see the ruler along the top and side of your document. If you don't see that, just go to View and click on Rulers. So we are creating spaces for your little strips of pictures to go. So you're going to be selecting your picture and moving strips of your picture over into this bigger document. So let's get set up for that. First, you want to take a horizontal guide and place it at 1 inch, and another one and place it at 7.5 inches. And then you would start to go across, and every ½ inch all the way across the document you would be placing guides every ½ inch going the vertical way. So we are going to speed up our process a little bit. We're going to pretend that this has gone all the way across the page. So you would just continue to do that. So you don't want to stop putting guides until everything's all over there. So once you have set up your guides, then you're ready to resize your pictures and start selecting and moving your objects. So you should be picking out 2 pictures that have some kind of relationship, like they're a pair. There's something about them that makes them look like they go together. We're also trying to have pictures that are asymmetrically balanced. Let's see if I can dig up our criteria here. Lenticular criteria. So some of the stuff that we had talked about the other day was, we would be cropping our pictures. We'd be using the rule of thirds to have like some asymmetrical balance, and trying to have things set up on our page where they were making like compositional triangles. So my examples don't quite have that going on, but what I want to show you is how to resize your pictures. So the pictures that you're going to use, you need to resize them again using the crop tool like we did in our last project. So you've got to turn the crop tool on and then say that you want a specific size and resolution. And that size and resolution for both pictures is 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches at 100, excuse me. We want 300 pixels per inch. And we'll say OK. So whatever's lit up is what's going to stay when we say yes. And so I'm just moving this with my mouse because I like that. That black kitten makes this picture a lot more asymmetrically balanced than if I had it with the other 3 kittens instead. Like, because the black cat's lower, we're getting that composition triangle that we're talking about. So see how, we got the kitty paw, the kitty ear. See, we're making a triangle there. Boom. So we're going to say yes. So I just cropped my picture, and I would go through and try to identify a good way to crop my other picture. These pictures, they're not good examples because there is not a good relationship between them. But again, I would want to be trying to maximize my subject within the crop frame and try to get a composition triangle there. And, you know, we're getting one because, you know, we got the head and the hand, and so we're making a triangle like that. So we'll say yes. So I've got triangles going on in both my pictures. That's what matters, and that they need to be a pair is also important. So the same thing with this, you would want to take and place guides every ½ inch across your pictures as well. So I'm going to pretend, I'm just going to draw a couple guides on each of these. I'm going to pretend that I've gone all the way across. So I just want to show you how to splice this together. So when you're splicing that together, what you want to do is select a strip of the picture with the rectangular marquee, and you've got to move it to the layout document, and then you're just going to be moving that selection over and pushing other pictures over again until you've got everything that you want. So let's start by doing that. First, my picture's kind of zoomed out. I'm going to hit Command 0 on my keyboard to zoom in, and I'm just going to zoom back a little bit by hitting Command minus. I'm turning the rectangular marquee tool on, you know, it's the one right underneath the move tool. And I'm just going to stretch the mouse over that first strip of picture, just like that. So I've got my selection, and I can use the move tool. It's very important to switch to the move tool when you do this. And I'm going to pick that up and drop it off in my layout document. So I'm going to pick up my picture and I'm going to drop it off in my layout document. So those guides, they are showing you exactly where you want your picture to be. Oh, and notice how with this first picture I skipped that very first strip. You need that so that you can put your lenticular together after it's printed. So I've picked my picture up, I've dropped it off, and now I can go back and I can get the next bit. So, you know, I could spend a bunch of time making a new selection. You're going to save time and be more accurate if you just go to hit select and say that you want to transform your selection, and then you can just move that selection over with the shift key. And see how you can also just fine tune it so that it's hitting the guides if you need to move it a little bit. So I move it over, I say yes, and then I can pick it up and drop it off. So I'm skipping a space. So we're going to fast forward. We're going to pretend that that one has been all done, and we're going to start doing the same thing with the second picture. So select, and then I'm going to pick it up and wrong document. Just undo that. Let's see. One moment, everybody. Alright, so let's pick that up again. The idea is that you are moving those pictures by going to select and transforming selection and what have you. So let's X out of there. I've made my selection. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to drop it off in the layout document. And it's just parking right where I want it to go. So see how I've still skipped that first strip. Like, but if you do this right, you'll have an empty space at the beginning and an empty space at the end. And once that happens, you can let me know so we can print it, and then you can start the wonderful adventure of putting your lenticular image together. Woo!